Hi, I'm Chris Morgan with Morgan's Creations, and I would like to thank the International Association of Woodcarvers for having me on today.
All right, guys, thank you all for joining us today. Welcome back to the International Association of Woodcarvers. We've taken a few weeks off, gotten through Christmas and New Year's. I want to say happy 2023 to everybody who's on today. Seems like a lot of people have missed us because we've got quite a group in the room here, and everybody seems to be excited to join us. So that's great. I want to let you know we're working hard to try to line up a good schedule starting out here in January. And so plan on coming back every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and joining us with some great presentations on wood carving. I'll tell you a little bit about what we've got coming up. Today, Chris Morgan's on. He's going to be talking to us a little bit about designing carvings. He's coming to us from Carl Junction, Missouri. He's worked at Silver Dollar City. He's been carving for quite some time, so we'll have Chris on here in just a few minutes. Next Saturday, we're going to have Marty Leanouts from My Chip Carving. He wanted to come on and talk a little bit about sharpening tools and how to maintain your knives. So he's going to be doing that and talking a little bit about chip carving. On the 28th of January, Pat Coffey, who is a caricature carver, is going to be coming in. You can find his page on Facebook called Crane Creek Carvings. Pat's been carving for quite a long time too, and he's going to come on and talk to us about his carving journey. On February the 4th, Mr. Richard Holden, who's in the meeting today, is going to be on with us. He's going to be talking a little bit about design and his carving journey. On the 11th of February, Alec Lacoste is going to be coming back. He's come on a couple of times with us. He has a carving school, and he's going to be talking a little bit about that, doing a demonstration. And if you are not familiar with Alec's work, he does a lot of cottonwood bark carving. You can find him out on YouTube. And then on February the 25th, Dan Gallagher, who's been on with us carving golf balls, he has a page called Goofballs by Dan. He's going to come back and do a demonstration, talk a little bit about carving golf balls. Again, that's February the 25th. So we're working hard on getting some people lined up. Right now, we do have February the 18th open. If anybody's interested in coming on and presenting on that date, reach out and let me know. We'll get you on the schedule. Before we get started with Chris, I want to tell you a little bit about some workshops that are available. I think Ryan Olson started his flat plane class today. I hope you all are participating in that. And I've taken one of his flat plane classes before, and it's a great opportunity to learn from one of the best. So check that out. Dave Stetson, who's on with us today, has a cowboy class starting on February the 4th. And I believe Dave's still taking people signing up for that class. He's got a rough out and a pattern that you can cut out for the class. You need to reach out to Dave if you're interested in signing up for that, and he'll get you signed up. And then in April, I saw today that Janet Cordell is going to be teaching another class. It's on carving an Old Faithful horse. If you haven't seen Janet's work, her work's phenomenal. She does a lot of realistic busts and things like that, but she's going to carve a horse this time. And she is interested in going ahead and taking students. So if you want to reach out to Janet, go ahead and do that. You can see all of these workshops and the information surrounding those workshops on Wood Carving Academy. Go out and check that out. Wood Carving Academy, you can also go out and sign up for subscriptions with them. And they've got 1 month, 3 month, and a year subscriptions. There's past classes that are available on there. You can find a lot of content. The price is low. It's a great opportunity to go out and do some learning individually and at your speed. So you can go out and just watch the videos as you have time. And it's a great place to learn. So check that out. Then a couple other things that are available to the carver. Dwayne Gosnell still has Whittle Wednesdays. If you're interested in that, check out Dwayne's. He has a website. It's D Gosnell Wood Carvings, or you can contact him direct and he'll get you signed up. He has a new project on Wednesdays. I think he does it twice a month. So check out that. And then Chris Hammock's going to be doing some online classes. If you're interested in learning from Chris, you can go out to his website or contact him directly on Facebook, and he'll get you signed up with any classes that he has available there. So having said all that, there's a lot available for the wood carver. Hopefully you are participating in that. Again, we thank you all for coming on and joining us today. Looks like we have almost 90 people in the room right now, so it's a good turnout for our first meeting starting out here in 2023. I want to thank Chris Morgan for coming on. You can find Chris Morgan at Morgan's Creations on YouTube. He's going to talk a little bit about design and then go through doing a demonstration on the carving. So, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. I appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to seeing what you have to share with us.
All right, so with that, I guess I'll go ahead and do a screen share. What I'm going to be using, I use my iPad Pro to do sketches, so that way I can draw them and then I can color them and kind of get an idea of what they're going to look like when they're done. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. Everybody see that okay?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So what I've got here is I just took a picture of a piece of graph paper, and it's just kind of for reference. But basically what I've got is a 2.5 inch wide by 4 inch tall. So this is what I would sketch my pattern out on. So we're going to be doing, he's kind of an angry hillbilly. So I'll just kind of go in here and just start sketching. Like here would be his hat. Kind of give him a old beat up hat. With this pattern, I've taken it around the back side. Kind of put in his brim of his hat. So this will give me my pretty close to what I want it to look like. Then from there, we'll just continue on. Put in the shape of his face, his beard. You can make this as long or as short as you want. Most of the time, the patterns end up changing. So we have so we're going to have something like this. And hopefully it turns out the way, the way I've got it drawn. So just a real quick way, I like to use this, that way I can go back and I can erase and I can edit and make changes to it. Once I get this laid out and kind of the way I want it, I'll send this to the printer, print it off, cut it out, and then transfer it to a block of wood. This app is free. It comes with a bunch of different tool palettes. So, I mean, you can, if you make a mistake, you can just come in here and erase it, change it up a little bit, whatever, give him some bags underneath his eyes, something like that. So it's just a real quick, easy way for me to kind of take a concept, put it down. Yeah, I like it, or I can redefine it until I get it to what I want. And from that point out, just print it off. Used to do everything with pencil and paper, and this is kind of an easier way, and I can store all the patterns. I don't have to shuffle around for a piece of paper. If I want to do this one again, I need the pattern, I just go print it back off. So any questions, everybody? It's Autodesk Sketchbook is what it's called. So I'm using, again, on an iPad Pro with pencil. Okay. So now hopefully, sorry, everybody will be able to see that. So what I did was I just transferred that to a block of wood and tried to remove a bunch of the material. Just so the name of the tool, it's Autodesk Sketchbook for iPad is what I used. So what I've done is I've just transferred it to a block of wood and then just kind of made my pencil marks where I'm going to be cutting the brim of the hat. Tried to cut out the little notch there, which that, I don't know how far we'll get in this, but we'll see what we got. So the first thing that I always like to do, you can either use, I've got a soft V. You can go through there and use that soft V and go around the bottom side of the hat, but I'll just go ahead and use my knife. Establishing at the same time the bridge of the nose. Let's work this around. You can start with the top of the hat. You can start with the face. It doesn't really make any difference. So from here, I'm gonna just kind of follow that there. Hopefully everybody still can see this. So kind of getting that started there. And then let's go ahead and take all this down. You could cut this pattern even closer so you don't have a ton of material that you have to try and remove. And sometimes I'll even just start it from a flat block instead of starting it on the corner. This just saves a little bit of time for me. You could use any tool to do this. I mean, just gouges. And it also, this piece of wood's not exactly the best, but it'll work for today. Come up here.
Chris, while you're carving there, tell us a little bit about your history as far as carving at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri.
Okay. Well, back in 2008, I had made a stop from Florida and of course, I've been going there for years and years, ever since I was a little kid. And that always seemed like that was a source of entertainment for us, was going there. So I've always wanted to learn how to do wood carving. And finally, that was the year that I decided, well, I'll just go ahead and get what I need to get started. So I met one of the wood carvers, and his name was Greg Thompson, and he was doing demonstrations that day. So he's the one that kind of got me started. All I did was buy a knife, a block of wood, a glove, and a beginner's book, and then just kind of started carving anything and everything I could find. A lot of patterns on the internet, just real simple shapes to get started. So basically right after that time, about a year later, I attended my first carving seminar that SDC, they used to put it on. Now they do it in Springfield, Missouri. So I took a class from Mike Shipley, had a really good time and just got hooked. So then after that, I started carving all the time. I became friends with Greg, and he said, you know what? He said, maybe you want to come and join the wood carvers there, the guest carvers at Sodar City. So I said, okay, well, I'll give it a shot, and see if I like it. And so I did, and that was in 2009. And up until last year, I would go every year. We do carving demonstrations. We have about 16 days a year that we have to do from the time that the park opens till they close. It's all volunteer. So it's just a fun way to share your art form, get to meet a lot of people, and well, you get to carve with a bunch of really good carvers too. Harold Enlove, carved with him there, Gerald Sears. Gosh, can't think of all the rest of them. There's quite a few. So that's how I got started. And you learn something all the time. You're continuously learning, trying new things, new techniques, trying to improve on your carvings and make them better. So we're kind of getting this shaped up a little bit, and this big blockiness from the back side, I'll eventually just start taking that down. And what I'll end up doing is, once this hat comes through, then I'll start shaping all this up towards the front. Go ahead and start rounding some of this off. Yeah, you know, I could have picked a better piece of wood. I can tell you, it's pretty tough today. So I like to try all kinds of things. Greg had a pattern of a caricature bear that he teaches in his beginner's class. And so at my previous house, I had a dead tree that was oh gosh, wasn't a pine tree, cedar tree, big cedar tree. So I had to take it down. It was dying. So I left about 7 foot, and I carved a 7 foot tall version of his caricature bear with a chainsaw, a few mallet tools, and that was an undertaking that I don't particularly want to do again, but it turned out pretty good. I'm just going to start cleaning this up a little bit. I've always wanted to take a Dave Stetson class, so maybe one of these days I'll get the chance to do that. I had seen him, I believe he was at the Silverdale City seminar when I was there, and I think even Springfield, but and then I've had some one-on-one classes with Gerald Sears and got to know him pretty well. And then turns out that I work with his son. So that kind of helped a little bit. Kind of put in a good word for me. So now I want to start working on the nose and the eye plane. So I want that bottom of the nose be somewhere right around in there. So I'm going to find where the eyes will go and stick in straight in there. Start cutting back. So we've got that started. I'll worry about the shape of them here in just a little bit. But so now I want to go ahead and cut the bottom of his nose. bottom, and then we'll go to the sides. Kind of got that shape and look to him. Now here's going to be in his where his mustache is. So go ahead and pencil that in just so you got a reference here. Got his mustache in there. That lighting is kind of making it hard to see.
No, you're good, Chris.
Okay, all right, just checking. So now that I know that where that's going to be, this is going to be below it. Start pulling this down.
Hey, I was going to ask, most of us are tool junkies. What's the knife you're using there?
Well, this is a Helvey blade, but it's a number 2 that Gerald Sears was making, and they were custom. So I got to pick out the wood, and so this is, I believe he said it's Bubinga, and then this is Mastodon tooth with the inlays. So he made all the handles, got the blades from Helvey, and I use it in some of the videos that I've got. He made another one. See if I can find it real quick. Here's another one that he's made it out of Corian, and then did all the stainless steel or nickel file work. I think it's stainless steel used on this one, but there again, it's another Helvey blade. This is number 1. So a couple of knives that I won't ever part with.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. But then the rest of them, I've got some OCC tools, some dockyards, and then this is probably the most used tool when it comes to doing faces for me and eyes, is this little pencil handle Helvey that I bought like, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago. Never been able to find another one. I'm always afraid that I'm going to break that thing. So you got to be real careful with it. So all I'm doing now is just kind of outlining the bottom of that, where that mustache is. And I don't worry about putting in all the uneven parts of it. I'll do that when it's done, but it just kind of gives me a shape when I start gauging and looking at seeing where I need to remove more material. Kind of round this off a little bit. Okay, so go ahead and start pulling this down. Do this other side as well. And go ahead and put in where his beard would be. So then that way I can push this brim of this hat backwards, push it down. Somewhere right around in there. Okay, so got that hat back below there, and then I'm going to start thinning this out a little bit. Over here on this side. So if any of you have ever been to STC, which I'm assuming quite a few of you probably have, all the guest carvers, there's one resident carver, Right now, that's James Barr. It used to be Pam Gresham. She was a chip carver, and so now James does big sculptures, log sculptures, and we have about I think right now there's 35 to 38 people that come in and do carving demonstrations. So they try to have somebody there at least every day that they're open. So there's quite a few of us, and everybody does a little bit something different. We've got people that carve realistic animals. One guy that carves nothing but feather jewelry, and so relief, mantles, just all kinds. It's a really diverse group of carvers. And then you have the caricature carvers, and we kind of sit off to the corner and make our own funny little stuff. And okay, so we kind of got that to shape. Now I'm gonna put in the eyes. I'm just gonna pencil those in. Something like that. Just making a series of V cuts. So from that point, once I've got that established, I'm going to go ahead and mark my lines for where that nose is going to go. Just make my cut here. Got something like that. And then I'll come in here and cut the side down just a little bit back up to that corner. Pull that out. Do the same thing over here. I got that stuck in there pretty good. So we kind of got the sides of his nose now shaped. We pull that out just a little bit more. And then while we're there, you go ahead and grab just a small dockyard U-gouge. We'll stick that in there so I can give him some nostrils. That side. We got that stuck in there pretty good too. Now I'll just come back and take my knife, pop those out. Then get that one nice and clean. But once I get the carving all done, then I'll go around him entirely and do a bunch of cleanup. And I mean, these aren't nearly to shape yet, but just kind of work around. I don't ever really stay in one place. So for the eyes, I want to just kind of come in here. I'm going to use a V tool for this. It's going to follow my lines. That one there. That there. And then go ahead and push those back in there a little bit. This is where that other knife kind of comes in handy here in just a second. Many ways to do the eyes. So then I want to put in his eyelid. So you can either use the V tool like we did before, but for this one, I'm going to use this like a pencil. I'm just going to follow that line. That's going to be really, really thin right there. But follow it down and then real carefully separate that eyeball from the top of the eyelid. I'll go back and clean that up a little bit more. This one down here. So there's the almost completed eye. I'm going to come in here right here in the corner and take out this triangle piece. Something just about like that. So then I'll do the same thing on the other side real quick. And sometimes what I'll do also is I'll just follow my line that I made with my V tool. Stick that knife in that bottom of that V tool so it nice clean stopping point. Kind of clean that up a little bit. Go ahead and put that one in. Same thing. Kind of slicing that as I'm following that pencil line. And this one looks like it was gonna possibly tear out, but we'll see if I can keep it from doing that. More so this piece of basswood, I believe. And same thing over here. Small triangle cut in here, corner. Pull that out. So then now I can come down here on the side of the face. Something like that. I would go ahead and put this mustache in real quick. The side in. Probably can make that a little bit bigger, but it'll be okay. Just using my V tool again. Yeah, this piece of wood's tearing out. So then I'll go back, do the same thing. I'm going to come in here and just follow my lines with my knife. cut back towards it. Do the same thing over here. Tuck that underneath there. I don't get a lot of, I see a lot of people and they talk about what tool they're using and they get wrapped up in that. And I've kind of always taken the approach that it's whatever tool you have that works best for you. We see a lot of people when they come in, when we're doing our demonstrations, and they want to buy every tool that they can get their hands on. And well, that's okay. But you may not, I've got all kinds of tools that I don't ever use. Probably should, but most of the time I just end up using just the ones that I have, the small dockyard tools or the OCC tools here. Now we kind of got this face kind of somewhat shaped up. Go ahead and put call them age lines or little crow's feet in there if you want. See if we'll see some areas that I missed, so then I can go back and clean those up. Do the same thing over here on this side. And you'll find that carvings, they change just dramatically whenever you paint them. So you look at some of these and you go, well, can't really tell what's going on there. But once you get them painted, then and make my marks for bags under his eyes. Same thing over here. We doing okay on time?
Yeah, you're good. You're at 20 to 4, so we've got plenty of time.
Okay. Okay, so now we kind of got the face established a little bit. Kind of want to go back to this one. Give him some. Can't be perfect. He's got to be kind of rough and beat up. So in that pattern, had his mouth somewhere down in here. And I might be able to fix this. I think I got that mustache a little bit too narrow. So see if I can. Yeah, we'll just have to go with that. Pull this down a little bit. I got to put that in there. About like so. And I'll use the V tool for this one. So I want to push this back up under that mustache just a little bit. And then we'll just do a little bit. Didn't quite leave that big enough there to put in his snarl, but see if we can make this work. Something like that, you know, when you're doing it real time, you mess it up, you just got to go with it. You don't have time to redo it. I'm sure that's not ever happened to anybody.
Maybe not today.
Yeah. Yeah, doing live demonstrations, you can always say, oh yeah, I meant to do that. So then we're going to go ahead and kind of, we'll just put in, I'm quite sure if you're going to be able to see that or not, but let's put in the indication of a mouth there. And then bring this mustache on down here. So this is where I'll just go back in here and take some triangle cuts out of his mustache and try to make it uneven. Same thing over here. Then I'll start working this beard. This is where I was talking about, like if you look at it from the side, I'll start wrapping this towards the front now. Trying to remove some of that bulkiness of it. So this could be a refrigerator magnet. It could be a, you know, pin if you wanted to put a pin on it and wear it, but it's a little bit big for that. I guess you could even make them into ornaments. Just want to get this thinned up right here. I've got somewhat of a curve and a shape. And then from that point, it's all just going around and kind of debulking some of this as well. So what we'll have is Go ahead and take this down a little bit more. We want that brim of the hat just kind of come around and fade into nothing over here on that side. So you can do this a couple different ways. Just use this V tool here. So then I want to start removing this material. Something like that. Take.
Hey, Chris, when you set up at Silver Dollar City, do you sell carvings there, or do you have a shop or somewhere where you sell stuff?
No, we sell through the shop. So when we're there, we have to have at least 3 pieces in the shop at all times. You can take as many as you want, but yeah, we have carvings there for sale. We can carve just about anything we want. They do have some limitations on what we can. We can't carve anything with, you know, like for instance, this bottle stopper. This is a video series that I'm working on for YouTube. So if you had something like this, you can't put it in the shop because he's smoking a cigarette. So no cigarette, no alcohol reference or anything like that. So, but I have a few things. I have a online Square store, and got a few of the carvings bottle stoppers. Got a couple of pattern books that are in PDF form that are up there. I think there's 15 to 20, 25 patterns in each one over some of the stuff that I've drawn over the years. And it's just kind of fun to create all kinds of different stuff. And if somebody else likes it and they want to carve it, that's great. I don't get too bent out of shape about, you know, people stealing your ideas, because almost every idea out there has been done. So it's, you know, cowboys and animals, kinds of funny caricatures. So just kind of try to create your own thing. So I'll continue to work on this hat just a little bit more. Probably could have started with a little bit thinner block, but and once you kind of get it to the shape that you want, you can start adding all your little details to it. He's an old hillbilly, so this stuff isn't going to be nice and pristine. And I paint everything with acrylics. It's a thin down acrylic paint wet. And that was taught to me early on, and I really struggled with painting until I got some advice on that. And so since I've been doing that, it works out really well. You try to make a carving so the grain, you can see the wood grain, and not so it's heavily painted that you can't tell that it's an actual wood carving.
Chris, there's a question in the chat. Somebody wants to know if carving is your main living.
No, nope, it's just a hobby. I work in the civil engineering field, so this is a good way to relieve stress. All I'm doing is just pushing that forehead back there. And I would probably not going to do it with this one because I don't think this wood is going to allow me to do it, but typically we put eyebrows on him. But I don't think I've got enough, this wood's good enough to allow me to do that and not make it look awful. So we'll just leave him off for the time being. So for the beard, pretty much do the same thing as the mustache. I just kind of make some random cuts, some V cuts in here. Just kind of work that around until I get it to a tough piece. Very tough. Glasses are fogging up on me. The detail, I mean, you know, going through here and cleaning everything up, making sure all your lines are nice and clean, sometimes takes the longest, but the end carving is worth it. Just kind of thinning this up a little bit. So he's just about there. Getting pretty close.
Hey, what kind of projects do you have out on your YouTube page, Chris?
I've done a couple, there was a couple reviews. Well, I've done one and I've got a couple more to do. There was a company called New Urban, and they sell these kits on Amazon, which you get everything you need to start. So they're just a basic shape. This one's a giraffe, and the Christmas one there was a Santa Claus and a Christmas tree. So I've done a couple of those, couple different tool reviews, but mostly it's just I've carved some cowboys and working on the bottle stopper. That this is the one that I'm doing right now. I had about 4 or 5 to choose from, and the people on YouTube basically voted, and they wanted this one. So we're going to do this as a series. So I'm working on that. Got some ornaments out there. it's just random. Whatever pops in my head.
And then there's a couple more questions in the chat. What was the name of the store where you sell your stuff at Silver Dollar City?
It's actually Valley Woodcarvers.
Okay.
That's the name of the store there inside the park. I used to sell at Engler's, Peter Engler's Designs. And then I just kind of went more basically full time at SDC whenever I was doing the carving demonstration. So I took a year off and last year, and I hope to go back next year or this year, this upcoming season.
And then another question, somebody wants to know if you've ever worked with butternut and what are the pros and cons if you have?
Yeah, I like butternut. I've done several. I wish I had one here to show you. If not, I can send it. You can maybe add it to the YouTube video. But it was just a miniature hillbilly. It was about an inch tall. It was all out of butternut. I like it. I don't ever paint it. Just basically just put a clear finish on it, and it's beautiful wood. Sometimes you got to watch the grain because it has a tendency to want to splinter. But if you just take your time, you got good sharp tools, it's not a problem. It's a beautiful wood when it's done.
And then somebody else asked if you have your own store where you sell your own carvings.
Just the Square store online. And I think I may have sent you that link so you could, if you wanted to post that too. If you go to Morgan's Creations on Facebook, there's all kinds of there's different links throughout some of the posts that talk about the Squarespace store.
Yeah, and I'll kick that in now. We every time we post a YouTube video, we try to gather all the information from the carver that we can. So if you all haven't looked at that, go out on our YouTube videos and check out the links that we share there, and you can find all the information that the individual carver shared with us that correlates with what they do.
Let's see. I always feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think I was telling Blake that this carving, when it's completed and painted, I'm going to donate to help them with the raffles and stuff that they do. So maybe.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll get one of the Helvey knives that we usually get in and do a raffle, and we'll pair it up with one of the Helvey knives, and I'll make sure and advertise that this is the carving that Chris did during the meeting so that people can go out and watch you actually carve that, and then they can bid on it if they want it.
And I promise you, it will look different than this one when they receive it. It'll be a little bit more of a carving, look more like a carving, but anyway.
And Karen's asking, do you teach classes anywhere, Chris?
I was going to teach last year in, I want to say, is it Gretna, Nebraska? But some stuff came up, and so I was not able to attend. But I'm hoping to here. Maybe next year I'll get that opportunity again. I'm not opposed to it. I taught a couple of local classes to some people that were interested in learning how to carve, and that was fun. But not to a big group. It was, I think I had 3 or 4. So.
And then another question, somebody's asking what the names of your carving books are.
Well, the ones that I have on my, like the pattern books that are on the Squarespace store are Carving Santas and Snowmen, and then the other one is I think it was like Cowboys. I think Cowboys and Hillbillies, I believe. But I do have two books that are published through Schiffer Publishing. They're older books. It was carving caricature bookmarks and then carving caricature name tags. When I was first started there at SDC as a guest carver, I carved, I can't even count the number of name tags for the employees on the park. It was a lot. And so once you do one for one person, that person, you know, the other people that work there see it and they go, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And so then when word got out, that was it. I mean, I carved, gosh, not I lost track of the number of them that I've carved. But those are fun to do because most of the time the people don't have any idea. They just kind of say, "Well, I think maybe I want this," and so you kind of take their idea and you just turn it into something fun. And that's what it's about. We always have a good time when we're there. Well, I think for the time, this thing is kind of done. A lot of times I'll step away from it, and then when I come back to it, I'll see something I want to fix or fine tune. So I would do it at that time. Let's see, how often do I post videos on YouTube? Not often, not as often as I should. Um, with my work schedule, it sometimes puts me behind, and then life in general. So this year, I'm going to make a better effort to put more videos online. I try to make them good quality videos, high resolution, so everybody can see what's going on. Because sometimes it gets to the point to where you can't. You know, I can see it because I'm here, but trying to show that to um, people is a challenge. Oh, let's see. The App Store says Autodesk has discontinued it. Okay, well, I'm sure that you could probably find some other drawing software for the iPad. I've had that Autodesk for several years. I just assumed that they were still making it, but
There's Chris, there's a good app called Procreate, and I think it's only $10 or something like that, but it'll do similar to what you're doing there as far as design goes.
As long as you got a way to be able
$12.99.
The Procreate, yeah, that'll work out good. I mean, it's just it's a quick and easy way to develop your patterns. And a lot of the times, like I said, I'll go in there and color them and make them look kind of what I have in my mind. And then sometimes, you know, I don't like it, or I'll make a change when I'm carving it. But it's a good tool for me. Good tool to use.
So do we have any other questions for Chris today regarding his demonstration?
Nope. Guess
They
all got it. Good.
Well, we're at a little bit after 5, Chris, so I'll go ahead and stop you at this point. Or I'm sorry, a little bit after 4, 5 minutes after 4. I want to say thanks for coming on, and I'll look forward to getting that carving from you once you get it painted up. We'll post pictures of it on all of our social media, and then let everybody know when that's going to be auctioned off, and anybody who might want to get a chance at that, they can join the meeting live. I'll also go out and tag your Squarespace store in the YouTube video when we post it tomorrow. And that way, if they're interested in going out and checking out your books and stuff, they can go out there and see that. But I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thanks for sharing. A lot of good tips there as far as how you create those from scratch. In other words, start without actually drawing out the pattern and then going in and doing the carving from there. So I appreciate you showing that. Just want to remind everybody, next week we'll have Marty Leanhouse from My Chip Carving that's going to be coming on. He's going to be talking about tool maintenance, sharpening knives, talk a little bit about chip carving. So make sure you join us at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. I will not be here. So I believe Dave Levy and Dave Stetson will be on with you all next Saturday and the 28th. I'll be in Mexico with Chris Hammock in one of his classes. Myself and Dean Irving will be down there, so you all pray for us. I know Dean's on the meeting today, but we look forward to having a good week down there. And I think there's probably a few other carvers that's in here that's going to be with us. So should be a good week. But again, remember that you can go out, check out Wood Carving Academy. If you want to check out classes that are available, reach out to Dave Stetson, Janet Cordell, if you're interested in the classes they have coming up, or if you're interested in subscribing to Wood Carving Academy, check it out. I'm sure that your Ron will be happy to have you on board there. And I'm a member there. I've subscribed for quite a few months, and it's really a good tool as far as learning goes. So make sure you check it out. We had 109 on today. I want to thank you all for coming in. I know it's been a little bit of a break. I appreciate you all allowing us time to take some time off. And we look forward to having meetings through 2023. So join us next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the International Association of Wood Carvers. Thank you all.